Have you ever pondered how fashion evolved from the Victorian corsets to today's athleisure wear? It's a fascinating journey, isn't it? A journey that not only showcases the evolution of fabric and design, but also serves as a vibrant tapestry of our shared history. Fashion, you see, is far more than just clothing. It's an art form, a cultural statement, a reflection of the times. Each era, each decade, has its own distinctive style, influenced by the social, political, and cultural climate of the time. From the restrictive corsets of the Victorian era, a symbol of the rigid societal norms of the time, to the freedom-embracing flapper dresses of the Roaring Twenties, fashion is a mirror reflecting the zeitgeist of an era. And it's not just about trends that come and go, it's about iconic costumes that have left an indelible mark on the annals of fashion history. Think of Audrey Hepburn's little black dress in Breakfast at Tiffany's, or the bold, daring miniskirt that became the symbol of the women's liberation movement in the 60s. These are more than just pieces of clothing. They are a narrative, a story of societal change and evolution, woven in threads and colors. But fashion isn't static. It's a dynamic, ever-evolving entity, constantly adapting to the changing world around it. Today, we see the rise of athleisure wear, a blend of comfort and style that speaks volumes about our fast-paced, health-conscious society. In the next few scenes, we'll be taking a closer look at these fashion epochs, diving into the stories behind them, the designers who brought them to life, and the impact they've had on our culture. We'll be hearing from costume designers and fashion historians, the people who've dedicated their lives to studying and preserving these pieces of our shared history. As we embark on this journey, remember that fashion is not just about clothes, but a mirror reflecting our social, political, and cultural changes. So buckle up, fashion enthusiasts. It's time to travel through the fascinating world of fashion history. Picture this, the Victorian era, a time of corsets and crinolines. This epoch was characterized by a certain level of grandeur and formality in clothing, heavily influenced by societal norms and beliefs. The corset, a tightly fitting garment worn to shape the torso, was a symbol of respectability and morality. It was thought to uphold the Victorian ideal of the fragile woman, who was delicate and in need of protection. In tandem with corsets, crinolines came into vogue. These were large, stiff petticoats designed to fan out the skirt, creating an illusion of a narrow waist and accentuating the hourglass figure. The crinoline's expanse was not just a fashion statement, but also a status symbol, reflecting the wearer's wealth and social standing. Fashion, as we see, is deeply intertwined with the ethos of an era. It reflects the societal attitudes and conventions of the time. Thus, the Victorian era left its mark on the fashion world with its emphasis on elegance and modesty. Fast forward to the Roaring Twenties, an era of flappers and newfound freedom. This decade was a time of great societal upheaval, with women gaining the right to vote and an economic boom following the end of World War I. As society changed, so too did fashion. The flapper dress, loose and shapeless, was a stark contrast to the tight, restrictive corsets of the previous era. The hemlines rose, the waistlines dropped, and women began to experiment with shorter, bobbed hairstyles, a significant shift away from the long, often cumbersome hair of the past. This new style was not just about fashion, but about making a statement. It signified the independence and rebellion of the modern woman, a daring departure from traditional norms. The flapper style was a symbol of liberation, a celebration of women's newfound freedom. The Roaring Twenties, a time of dramatic change, forever transformed the world of fashion. Next stop, the swinging 60s, an era of mini-skirts and mod fashion. The 60s were a time of explosive fashion evolution, as the world was introduced to vibrant mini-skirts, mod fashion, and psychedelic prints. This decade was all about breaking the mold and embracing bold new styles. At the heart of this fashion revolution was the mini-skirt, a garment that challenged societal norms and championed the spirit of youthful rebellion. As hemlines rose, so did the voices of a generation eager to express their individuality and freedom. Alongside the mini-skirt, mod fashion emerged from London's youth culture, characterized by sharp, clean lines and bold geometric patterns. It was a style that was as innovative as it was influential, shaping the fashion landscape for decades to come. Psychedelic prints added a vibrant splash of color and creativity, reflecting the cultural revolution and the era's experimental spirit. The swinging 60s, a time of rebellion and experimentation, revolutionized fashion in ways that still echo today. Finally, we arrive in the modern era, a time of athleisure and individualism. The fashion world has truly evolved, and today's trends reflect our fast-paced, digital and health-conscious society. Athleisure, a term coined to represent the blend of athletic and leisure wear, has taken the world by storm. This trend is more than just a fad. It's a lifestyle transformation. It mirrors our evolving work culture, the rise of wellness and fitness consciousness, and the need for comfort and functionality in our everyday wear. It's interesting to note how technology has played a pivotal role in this shift. With the rise of social media, we are now more connected than ever. We're constantly sharing, learning, and drawing inspiration from global trends. This has not just influenced the spread of athleisure, but also underscored the significance of individual style statements. Individualism and self-expression have become the essence of modern fashion. Clothing is no longer just about covering oneself or adhering to societal norms. It's about expressing who we are, our beliefs, and our unique sense of style. It's about diversity and inclusivity, of body types, of genders, of cultures. Fashion has become a language, a means of communication that transcends borders. Moreover, the push towards sustainable and ethical fashion practices has added another layer to this canvas of individualism. Many of us are consciously choosing brands and pieces that align with our values, further personalizing our style and making a statement. Technology again has been instrumental in this shift, with social media platforms becoming a hub for advocacy and awareness. Brands are now held accountable, and transparency has become a vital part of their identity. In essence, the modern era of fashion is reflective of the times we live in. It's a beautiful blend of comfort, functionality, personal expression, and social consciousness. It's less about fitting in and more about standing out, less about following trends and more about creating them. In the modern era, fashion has become a platform for individualism, diversity, and freedom of expression. From corsets to crop tops, fashion has indeed come a long way. This journey through fashion history has taken us from the tightly laced corsets and voluminous crinolines of the Victorian era to the liberating flapper dresses of the Roaring '20s. We've seen the rebellious spirit of the '60s reflected in the rise of miniskirts and mod fashion, and witnessed the celebration of individualism and comfort in the athleisure trend of the 21st century. Each era in fashion history has mirrored the societal and cultural changes of its time. The corset, which was once an emblem of the restrictive societal norms imposed on women, gave way to the flapper dress, a symbol of women's newfound freedom and rebellion against convention. The miniskirt, meanwhile, embodied the youth revolution of the '60s, challenging the conservative norms of previous generations. Fashion trends aren't just about clothes. They're about people, their values, their struggles, and their triumphs. As we've seen in our interviews with costume designers and fashion historians, every stitch, every silhouette, every fabric choice tells a story about the time it came from. The athleisure trend, for instance, reflects our increasingly busy lives and the importance we now place on comfort and functionality. It's a testament to our desire for individualism, for the freedom to wear what makes us feel good, not just what society deems acceptable. As we've journeyed through fashion history, we've also seen how fashion trends have recycled and reinvented themselves over time. The corset, for instance, has made a comeback in recent years, albeit in a more comfortable and less restrictive form. This is a testament to the cyclical nature of fashion and a reminder that the past continues to influence the present. As we look forward to the future of fashion, one thing is clear. Fashion will continue to evolve, reflecting the ever-changing world around us.